Scheduled for three-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the short line at Buick and GMC red corner. Please welcome to the cage, Jerod Padilla.
All right, here we go, back at it. This is a guy that throws with a lot of volume, comes forward and really, for a lightweight at 125 pounds, wait to see the power that Padilla generates.
Yeah, and so his guys out of trials in fights 2 and 4, both won. We said at the beginning of the night, they are one of these gyms from the region, and you're going to see soon nationally, that seems to be coming up. They got a little moment, they got a little special sauce coming together. And all of them, this kid, he's a very lovable kid, but he's the one they're most excited about. Even his teammates, even the other guys who fought on the card, they're like, oh man, Padilla's coming up any second. So he's definitely somebody that people are talking about.
JR, he has a role model to look forward to that's in his corner, and Justin J-Train Gonzalez, who stayed on the regional circuit for quite some time, now finds himself, I think, the 9th-rated fighter, 8th-rated fighter in Bellator.
Always so neat to see that happen. And another thing some people don't realize is UFC fighter Ed Herman, one of the gentlemen that helped establish the Trials MMA gym here in Colorado.
Oh, no wonder they're so tough. Herman's a great fighter, but he's rugged too. There's these aspects of combat you cannot learn, you cannot buy, and you cannot teach. This type of heart and toughness and grit. And Ed Herman, damn it, that guy has it.
He's that guy.
He's that man.
And his opponent, fighting out of the Fowler Chevrolet blue corner, please welcome Miguel Morales.
And to tell you one thing, we're sitting next to the right guy. JR has been here for every Sparta sports and entertainment event. Our CEO, Jeff Cisneros, at home tonight enjoying this as his wife, Becca, is running things. And we're going to have to give him a few of the berries because now you're another one up on him, JR.
Hello, Jeff.
I love that man. Good human being and a great dude.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. And Padilla 22, Miguel 21, 5'8", a little bit of an advantage in height for Padilla. Both 125 pounds, 1-0 for Padilla, 0-1 for Morales, looking to get that O to go on the winning track. He'd like to end up in this one 1-1. Talking to J-Train about Padilla, because I talked to him about a few of these fighters coming in because they had so many of them. He said, just really gritty, a gritty striker, loves to throw those combos. He's very secure. He works part-time in security, DoorDash, so he can get that quick cash and then get in the gym and train.
Yeah, I mean, they're so young, right? They gotta be able to slowly learn not only the skills, but that sort of mental capacity to handle the pressure, to be able to go to work, earn some money, go home. Some of them have families. Whatever you gotta do as you're building your skills, you're building your knowledge, you're building your wisdom in the fight game. But some of these guys just seem to have it, and there's some about these trials guys, they seem to kind of encourage each other on the right route as well. That's gonna be an interesting one. Miguel Morales here from 10th Planet, so a grappling specialist in theory, but these days, you know, most people blend that whole game together.
You got to, and I think that's the one thing that you see the guy, and we're going to see a guy in the next fight in Daniel Rojas that's very well-rounded, and JR, we're seeing that more and more early. Not just strikers, not just wrestlers, the ability to have all things to the table.
Well, Robin talked about it earlier. Some of these guys that we're seeing now have grown up with MMA as a martial art in and of itself versus a lot of people that came from separate backgrounds and had to try to blend things.
Ladies and gentlemen, this flyweight MMA bout is brought to you by Inland Leasing and Storage. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the short line at Buick and GMC red corner. From Fort Collins, Colorado, representing Trials MMA, Jerod Padilla.
Yo, what's up? I'm here. What's up?
So much confidence.
And his opponent, fighting out of the Fowler Chevrolet blue corner. From Denver, Colorado, representing 10th Planet Denver, Miguel the Yellow Flash Morales.
Oh, look at Big Mo roll those R's.
Padilla's got a real interesting little rhythmic walk. Like, he's got a different structure, and off timing, off rhythm, and different cadence. And it's really tough to deal with. You just see it in the way he just steps and carries himself, the way his shoulders move. He's an off-rhythm guy.
Limited film study on Morales as he does go downstairs and tries to get those leg kicks going, but he's giving up a lot of reach here. Let's see what he does.
No problem, Morales is coming out hot. You can tell it by the way that he, sort of expressed himself in the first few moments. Now he's at distance, which is not what he wants.
I told you about the power that Padilla possesses for a 125-pounder.
Yeah, he's a tall 125er too. He's being forced to reach a little bit. I like the way Morales is playing here. Hands low, people at home. Again, if you don't know a lot about fighting, someone told you once, always keep your hands up. That's not true, right? That's just not a truth of fighting.
Morales caught him on the back of the head as he came in, which is a difficult place to do it. And when he caught him on that head, it really stunned and put him back on his back. So Padilla really taking a shot early on.
Yeah, he did. And that shot that curves around and catches you behind the ear, that one is tough. The brainstem is located back there, and it is actually responsible for consciousness itself. So it can toss you for a little moment, just take you a moment out of your connection to consciousness.
One of the reasons why the rabbit punches are not allowed, in that case, it was just the way the fight was going. It wasn't targeted there.
If JR is aiming at my head and I turn my head and he catches me there, it's not illegal. And Padilla caught him with a left hand as he moved in, and that discouraged Morales from moving forward ever so slightly.
And we'll see, Robin and JR, we've seen this theme develop tonight where guys come out in the first round, they get stung, they get caught, they maybe don't look great in the first round. They've come back and won the fight tonight.
Yeah. Yep. So a little fake takedown to an overhand right by Morales, and Padilla actually didn't buy into it. Morales will likely get this takedown. He does, but we saw Padilla get back to his feet from underneath earlier.
Padilla working hard to try to get out of the position that he's in.
Padilla's locking up the arm from over top. He did that earlier, and it's an odd approach, but odd is good. In fighting, rare or weird is hard. And this actually is a really cool approach because you notice Padilla has both arms locked up, and he's the one punching.
It's a crucifix from the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yes, it is. It really
A reverse
is.
crucifix.
Yeah, and it's again, it would be ill-advised, but most of the things that feel new are the things you weren't supposed to do 5 years ago, right? So it's a very modern approach.
Again, Morales using a lot of energy to try to get and then stay in that position.
He put his knee in to be able to get that out, and that was the answer, and now he's on the back. And Morales looks super comfortable here as he rides the wrist. Look at his, so
got both hooks in.
Padilla will put two hands on one wrist here. See, he's got two hands on one wrist. He'll push that across to his far ear, to his left ear, and use that to pry the arm off. But from right here, it's 10 seconds, you can ride it out.
Yeah, no danger there because you heard that 10-second clacker. He was defending right. Gives him a little bit of props coming up. Now let's see where that theme is. JR, another wild first round.
You know that Padilla wanted to come out, put that power on display, use his length. Morales negated that, got in close, got several takedowns, controlled position on the ground. I have a fairly easy score, 10-9, round one for Morales, excuse me.
Yeah, I agree.
In Morales, the Yellow Flash is his nickname, coming in at 0-1, and now he's got a little bit of confidence as you just win a minute, win the round.
Yeah, so this is a fascinating position. 5 years ago, they would have told you this was wrong, but notice how well it's working here. But there, once the knee is in, now you're free. Your man will go to 4 points or look for one single leg. As he does, you're on 4 points. And he rotates around, left wrist, grabs the left wrist right there. You see it? And now he connects his arms, and he is a backpack here. And once you're a backpack, it's hard to get somebody off.
It's amazing how a knee can get your attention.
Yeah, for sure. Pry him open. He pried him open. And it was an odd position, and he found the logical answer to it. Morales is interesting, too, because he's all the way out. Notice how far away he'll fight. Again, people would say, hey, the other guy has longer reach. Why are you so far away? Well, he's making it work. He's either all the way out, or all the way in. Correct.
All right, let's see what Jerod Padilla has in store here as the first round looked to have gone to Miguel Morales, and see how these fighters calm down for the second round.
Padilla is probably used to being the most unorthodox in the dynamic. And in fact, Morales is probably the more unorthodox of the two. Catches the arm with the kick.
Yeah, Morales goes upstairs trying to land that kick, waiting for that opportunity, and there's that kick, and then coming back with that left counter.
Yep. So if you're Padilla, now Padilla's playing with some different footwork angles, and that was the perfect time for Morales. You got a guy saying, hey, I'm going to lay a pattern of my footwork in your head, and Morales is like, no, you're not, I'm going to take you down, right? You can see if Padilla, and I haven't had the luxury of seeing him fight, although I've heard great things about Padilla, there's the chance that he is literally thinking too much tonight. That he is actually sitting here in his conscious mind. And this will sound esoteric, but in fighting, you don't want to fight with thinking. You don't want to fight with words. Your movement should happen quicker than conscious thought. It should be natural. And if Padilla is thinking, then that's getting in the way of the natural expression.
You start thinking, it affects the way you fight and how you react and how you attack your game plan.
Yeah, we talk about this art form as a sport, and sports are wonderful. We love sports, but we aren't running plays out here. There's an old school sweep that he's trying to work here.
So close.
Yeah. You're not running plays out here. You're allowing fights to unfold, and that's the higher level of fighting, is allowing it to happen, training your body to know what to do without you asking it.
And the one thing Morales is doing, he's taking away the strength of Jerod Padilla, which is on his feet in the barrage of punches he's been able to avoid so far, because he's been able to get the takedowns and gain control on the ground.
Watch for a knee on the moment he gets to his feet. So right now you need the soft tissue underneath the rib cage, and as soon as he gets to his feet, left knee to the temple. But you can't do it yet. You have to wait until the flats of the feet are down and nothing else.
Morales, again, breaking down and putting as much pressure as he can on that head and neck, as he's got that shoulder lock in, trying to maintain control.
And he's winning the round. You know, we're going to ask JR, and JR's going to say, hey, this guy won the round. We know it, and he knows it, and they both know it, and that's really important here.
Now, Padilla looking right now and trying to somewhat get position and trying to get position with that arm and crank on it.
Yeah, you want to take both wrists on like a baseball bat grip, on the lower part, like the hand as the nut of the baseball
like
bat, and then slide it around and bend it against your head and hyperextend the arm, and then you get your shoulder to the mat. Padilla's actually fighting a very good fight. He's also not surrendering any exchange. He's losing position now. He's going to almost turning to the top. He'll lose some positions, but he won't give them up. He will fight them.
Rear naked choke here, and he taps. Yeah. He taps with 3 seconds left in the round.
Gracious.
And a surprise in the rear naked choke. Miguel Morales saw the opportunity, slipped it underneath his chin, and locked it down.
Miguel Morales. A brilliant fight. Really, truly a brilliant fight in every position. And man, for anybody who's ever fought before, and he came in here with a loss and no wins, the first win, especially when you perform so well, is so incredibly sweet. This is a moment he'll remember for the rest of his life. Here, Padilla's doing a very nice job. He's going to try to get his shoulder to the mat, and what he does, he's going to try to turn in. Instead of fighting to shoulder the mat, he'll try to get a reaction and turn in. But when here's striking, trying to turn into the body. For the moment. There, trying to turn in, nope. Reaches around and now slides the hand underneath. Grabs the shoulder, so the hand reaches underneath, grabs the shoulder, and from the shoulder you can choke there. I believe he got it underneath his own arm. He did, and you see he got the tap. But brilliant fight for Morales.
JR, one thing I want to say quickly is when you look at that, you know that the 10-second clacker is there, but that's how quickly that rear naked choke can affect.
Absolutely. It's a very fast technique.
Wow. Great action.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 58 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner by submission by a rear naked choke, Miguel the Yellow Flash Morales.
What a fight. Let's hear if we get the PG version.
Just off camera, they're taking their shot, and that moment he's going to remember forever, and I'm glad they got to snap
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by your winner, Mr. Miguel Morales. First off, Miguel, welcome back. You've had a little bit of time off, but I've seen you in the gym training. First off, how does it feel to come back, to get back in the cage?
Man, it feels amazing, man. I love the environment. The crowd is really energetic. Thank you, guys.
Now, early on in the fight, you caught him early, and you almost dropped him. And you stayed pretty composed on the feet, delivering some good shots, but you kept trying to go to the ground. What were you trying to accomplish? Obviously getting the win, but were you trying to focus on your ground game more?
Yes, I've been training a lot of ground game at 10th Line in Denver. These coaches are masters on the ground. Also, I know Jerod has a lot of power, that's why I didn't try to keep it standing. But that's that.
Now, sounds like you got some fans, obviously, that are supporting you. Obviously, your gym's here supporting you. Anything you want to say to the people, either here live or supporting you from back home?
Thank you, everyone, for watching me in Mexico and back in Texas. Thank you, the crowd, everybody. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your winner, the Yellow Flash, Miguel Morales.
And boy, how good does that one feel, guys? To be 0-1, you're going against a very good striker. He knew it. He talked about that in his post-fight interview. Stayed away from it and comes out 1-1.
Smart fight.